Hello everyone. It is just Dapper here from the Financial Cloud. Wanted to do a quick little run through on kind of like smaller range breakout or return to mean trade that I took today on February 29th. It had some good examples of market confluence as well as a tick structure shift. So wanted to highlight it to give you guys some helpful kind of tips on how we're viewing things, as well as understanding areas that are somewhat in the middle of a range, and how you can dictate proper R&R to make these trades successfully. So if you see over on the right side of the screen, we have the trade here, and here is an image from Tradeovate showing the entry to exit. So we'll quick just highlight kind of what I was looking for. Stop loss, looking at risk and reward, and some market confluence to dictate how to make this trade. Now, many of our members were low or in from the low around 71 here. This is an area that was highlighted through our weekly prep as well as daily morning prep that's offered. Then our Discord. You can get a feel for how we're trading in our free streams, so definitely check those out. I came in a little bit later, was not able to get in this bottom rotation. So my job as I sit down is to look for an opportunity to capture some points, right? We can see this trade. So entry, two entries here. After we breach over our VWAP on ES, and I'm looking for a return back to our POC, and I will zoom in here as well as retesting this previous auction that signaled our sell side. So I know that if we can look back in to this auction and accept it, we should see for rotation of this node. Target back up into our highs. See sells first trim as we approach POC of this node. Primary position is taken off as we look above, and then one left for into the highs here into 95. Now, I do want to talk about, as we're trading kind of in the middle of this ES distribution and testing back up into this previous morning mini auction here that we ended up trading away from earlier, right, creating our more aggressive sell, how we can use market confluence and tick structure to ensure that we're in the right side of the trade, as well as how to establish a stop on this trade. So couple things that we want to talk about first as we approach into this kind of mini auction once again and range rotation here on ES. I want to go focus on what we're seeing the Russell doing. So a lot of times the Russell is disconnected with ES and NQ, but as we trade into pivots and have these smaller or even larger sized liquidity events, they generally are trading together. Right, so we rely on the Russell a lot as part of our trading strategy to find these pressures. Can it maintain bids? Is it offering lower? Is it bidding lower? Etc. Etc. And we have our weekly anchored VWAP here into 48.5, as well as this edge of our primary bottom distribution. So as the Russell comes down and tests the bottom of this primary distribution and finds bids with ES as well as NQ, very similar structure down here to Russell, the low of our primary distribution into this edge, we want to see this supported. As those bids come in and we rotate to the top, now I have to respect this area as our current sell side resistance. And we know there are sellers sitting here. It was the breakdown, like I said, of our previous auction, as well as the new kind of offer in our market. So what am I looking for to confirm that we can see a trade back out of this range and into this previous auction? Well, a couple things, right? One, we want to see everything trading together, right? We want to see the ES make this move, as NQ makes this move, and as Russell continues to make its full rotation. Remember, like I said a little bit ago, there will be disconnect between ESNQ and the Russell, but the rotational pivots and where the pressure is found in terms of buyers and sellers usually result in the same type of oscillation. We can get this range break and return to previous auction on ESNQ while Russell is holding its range, but still respecting its upper pivot, right? So step one, do we have Confluence? Step two, to support that Confluence, I'm going to be utilizing tick here. We can see that as we approach the mid of our current auction, previous to my entry, we have a tick reclaim of 0. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how to use tick or what it is, we have awesome videos. Check out our channel. It will get you all squared away. But the long story short of it is what this is telling me is we're seeing underlines participate with the push. We're seeing a shift from most underlines selling to most underlines going bid. We're seeing that supportive and that the market in general is making an uptick. We have underlines making an uptick when we have our indices ticking with them. It's obvious which direction the order book has an imbalance, which direction we want to trade with, as well as if a very clear invalidation if something changes. If tick starts to hold under 0 again, we know that pressure is no longer, right? Same idea as if we fail our rotation on Russell or our breakout on NQ. So as I'm watching this, that's kind of my prep, what I'm preparing for in this trade is understanding, okay, if we can look above this current auction and back into our previous, there's a high probability to get a full rotation of this auction and travel back towards our daily POC as well as value high on ES. With NQ, very, very similar principle, right? We have our upper kind of selling auction, our primary distribution where our POC is located down below, and I'm looking for this to trade through the low volume node, right? And accept and test back into our upper node. We go look at the Russell really quick. We can see structure is balanced instead of showing a breakout, but very similar principle, right? Where if we can reclaim the mid and POC of this current auction, we should see a continuation and rotation to the highs. We have to respect this as our resistance, right? Respect our previous auctions until we can see price build and push and that bid and buy side value really raise. So that's the entire kind of prep getting into the trade, what I'm looking for, how I'm setting my targets. Let's more look at deeper dive into this entry on ES, where my stop loss was and the reasoning behind that, as well as where the targets are. Right, so it's lifted up here. You can see the entries into 88 quarter and right above as we push into this previous wick high. Entries were on this candle. You can line it up 1151. There's your 1150. So as we approach this area where I want to see an order book shift, right? And I've confirmed via tick that we have bullish pressure. I've confirmed via Russell that we're trending, right, and getting through the mid of our distribution, as well as NQ is trading in tandem here with ES and making this look and support a bid over 1800 to return through the slow volume node. Stops on this trade are going to be a look and hold back in to our auction, right? If we have a small liquidity event, you see buyers starting to get more aggressive, more willing to jump the spread, take out a lot of resting orders, which was a big kind of key point of today. We can understand that if this does not hold and accepts back in, we're going to see the opposite, right? In a rotation down and through this auction. That allows me to set about a 2-point stop here, right? With my main target being a retest of our daily POC and into the upper edge of this auction, and my max target being into 95 here. That allows me to run a 2 to 1, right? I'm looking for 4 to 6 points on a 2-point risk. That is a trade I'm willing to take, especially with the Confluence via tick, via NQ, and via Russell. So this is an area where if you're not looking at where the previous auction was, where the current auction was, and what that looks like with inside of the daily structure, as well as paying attention to your confluence between all the markets running together. Do we see underlines bidding? That's a kind of a perfect storm to take advantage of this transition, right? So really quick and kind of dirty walkthrough of what I was looking for on this trade, why I entered where I entered on the breakout, what I saw as invalidation. So you'll look back into our previous auction and how I set targets. If you want more material like this or to trade these type of setups with us in real time, check out the free YouTube streams. Come check out the Discord. We are here to teach. We are here to help. We want to see you guys be successful. Makes my life a lot more fun being able to meet new people and learn with them. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But that's the trade. Thanks, guys.